Hey everybody, this is Max with Music Lessons 101. Today we're going to work on a simple blues arrangement that I came up with, and just in hopes that it will show you some of the cool things you can do using the pentatonic scale, and how you can, with some really simple techniques, just like some slides and bends and following some of the chord shapes. You can really jazz up your lead and everything, and make it a lot of fun. I seem to get a pretty positive response out of a lot of the blues things that I've done in the past. So I just kind of want to keep up with that, and maybe do a deeper dive on some of these things here. It's really pretty endless. It's so much fun, and really can help you with your playing, and it's so much fun to improvise. And also I've made a backing track or a jam track you can jam along with, and I'm going to play the blues thing that I came up with, and then I'll post the backing track on there as well. And so it's going to be in the key of E, and so we'll start off today first just with reviewing the pentatonic scale. Okay, so you got the key of E, you got E, A, and B seventh. This particular blues, I ended up throwing an F sharp seventh in there just to kind of mix it up a little bit. So you'll hear that F sharp seventh when that comes in the song, and I'll kind of point that out to you. Okay, so in the key of E, you could play. Come up here on your 12th fret. You could play your minor pentatonic if you like. Okay, and then this particular blues is we're going to be playing major pentatonic. Okay, now you can mix the two. Again, the creativity is endless on this, but we're going to start, if you're here on your E minor pentatonic, you just simply slide everything down to this position. Okay. Okay, now I'm assuming that you know these two scales, so if not, go back to some previous lessons. I've got some pentatonic stuff in there on the more beginning blues lessons. So so this is the scale you're going to need, and also we're going to introduce a couple of little shapes that are outside of the box. Most of you probably already know this. So we have this little shape down here. And what's going on there is you have, if you think of your major or your regular scale, we're simply putting this note down here. And then most of you know this box here in the second position, position 2. Okay. Start from the bottom and work my way all the way up so you can see this. So now when you get to this point, instead of doing your third finger, do your second. So basically, what I will say before we jump into the video is that you can just play this, and of course you could use certain patterns. Okay, so you can do just different slides, bends. You could take patterns and repeat them, and that's kind of what I did on the video. Okay, so. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the video now, and when I get back, we're going to break this thing down and show you how to play it. Okay, so now on the video, what I did, the first part of that lead, coming out of the scale, I did a bend going right here on the 3rd string on the 11th fret. Okay, so that's all that is. And then I did this kind of a 6/9 chord right here. Okay, so you just have the two high strings, your E string and your B string, and then on the 11th fret, you have your D and your G string. So it looks like that. Kind of where that's coming from is you could do like a 6/9 chord up the whole thing. But this sounds really cool in blues. Okay, so that whole first part of that section. Okay, and then now we get to repeat that. Okay, so we can repeat things and save ourselves a little bit of trouble, and plus it gives continuity to the song, and you can just change it just a little bit, so you don't have to totally reinvent the wheel. So now we're going to go. See, so what's going on here, what we did when we do this, we're sliding up to the 3rd, because here's your E, and this is your 3rd of E. So let me do that second part again. Oops. Okay, and then at that point in the blues, it's going to go B7th, okay, so let me show you what I did there. Okay, so theoretically, you could just stay within the pentatonic scale. Okay, before just so you know, before I show you this next part, you know, when it goes to the F, you could go up to this box. Okay, so you could do that, but what I chose to do on this, and this is what the part where it can really jazz up your blues playing, is just kind of think of where your triads are. So in E, you know, we have our little E shape right here. You have your little E triad, okay, and then you have your B shape right here, okay, and we have an A shape here too. And you also have your B shape up here, okay? Now I'm going to show you what I ended up doing there is I just kind of worked around these chords here, okay? So this is maybe where it might be where it gets a little bit advanced, but if you kind of get the hang of this, it really makes it fun. You know, like you may not be able to improvise something like this right off the spot, you know, at least, you know, if you're starting, but once you kind of start seeing these little chord shapes, you know, you can really play around with it. So what happened here, so when it goes to the F sharp, here's an F sharp right here, okay? You know, you have E, here's your F sharp, okay? So see that little shape right there, this little triad? So I went to the second box. See that? Now it's going to go to the B, and I'm going to go, here's your B chord right here, okay? So I'm just simply outlining a B chord, okay? And now you could also see it here. Now look at this. Here's this is just your D shape, and this is a, this is a B7th right here, but see that note is the 7th, okay? So outlining the F. Now I'm going to the B. Oh, this note right here is actually the seventh of F. So if you play an F, here's an F chord, there's an F seventh, and there's the seventh right there of F. Okay, so you can see I really kind of thought this thing through, and you can do the same thing with these little triads. It makes it like a lot of fun. Again, like you probably wouldn't improvise that right on the spot. Like I know I wouldn't. I mean, the guy's way better than me probably could do it like it was nothing, but I have to think these things through, and you know, if you're a beginner, you have to do it as well. But so you can see what my thinking was. I went, but instead of going to the seventh of F down there, I just grabbed it up here. Then outlined my B, and now to the seventh of B. Okay, you know a B seventh. There's your seventh. So it would go, but I did a little bend. Okay, so and then we're going to do a little turnaround. I did that earlier, you know, down here. We're going to do it up here. You're just going to grab these two notes. And then, so we're just basically taking the top part of a B. So you know it'd go do, do, do. And then to the E. Okay, so let me do that whole thing all the way through. It's from the beginning. So we're going to have. Okay, so that's the first part. And if you see those little shapes in there, it's not going to be that hard to do. And then if you're just, you know, totally confused by that, you know, just stay in the pentatonic scale. You know, you could grab a couple of notes out of the F in the scale. So you could do that. Something like that, you know, you can just make up anything, but you could kind of play around the chords because you can see your F right there, fit that around the pentatonic scale. That's your B, then there's your E. So that's the first part of it. And now the second part, instead of, I ended up going to this note. So the bend was this. Okay, so let me do that again so I can play it the way I actually played it on the recording. So we got so this is the minor third. Remember, you're on E here. Here's your major third. There's your minor third. And what I did is I just put just like a just a little bit of a bend on it. Gives it a really kind of cool bluesy sound. Then the second time around. That time I went to the third, okay? Again, now we're coming back to that F sharp, okay? Now look at this. This is kind of cool. So here's an F sharp seventh here. You know what a lot of people don't know is this little shape here. So you're going to play your F seventh here, and we're just going to do it like this. Okay, so what I did there is I just followed the chord shape. See that? Here's your... Now we're going to go to the B7. So now you know a B7. You know, a lot of you beginners might not know this, but a really cool B7 is to play it like this. Okay, and you have this little D shape right there. See that? So now when the song goes to F, I'm outlining the F. The B7, okay? If you want to, you can add your pinky. I'll come back to that in a minute, though. Okay, so this, and it's always amazed me in the past when playing that when you just follow the little triads, the little shapes, if you can mix that in, it really sounds classy. So we've got this. Now I came to this note in that video, but I bent it up. Now what is that? Okay, if you play a B, there's your seventh again. See how I've been hitting on those seventh notes? So here's a B7. Now here's the seventh here, but I'm going to bend up. And then we're going to do the little turnaround we did before. Okay, so let me do that whole second part now. So we've got... Okay, and you can always slow the video down if I did that a little bit too fast for you. I've been trying to figure out a way to do tabs, but I haven't graduated to that point yet. I did get a program, but I don't even know how to use it yet. So that's how you can take just a really simple blues in the major pentatonic, and I didn't even go into the minor pentatonic. If you were to keep playing on this, you could go up here. You could jam up in there and do some of the same kind of things. You could outline your chords, but I think for today this is just enough to keep you busy on that. So if you work on doing those pull-offs, those bends, and again this is just so you have your slides. Okay, so let me see if I can go all the way through that from the very beginning without messing it up. And I don't know how close this is going to be to the recording I did. Because that was like last night, and geez, I spent like all day today just trying to get my audio working on this stuff. It's so confusing. Yeah, sometimes, when you're making videos, you can just end up spending more time figuring out how to get everything to work. Okay, so now I'm going to try to do this all the way from the beginning and see if I can do it slow for you. Here we go. So. Okay, then the second part. Walking up to the third. Okay, now to the F sharp. There's the seventh out of the F to the B, to the seventh of the B. Oops. get to the second time around. Here we go. Oops. And here comes the F sharp 7. Okay. The other cool thing that you can do too when you come to this B7th, if you add your pinky there, you get a diminished. Okay, you know, you could fit that in somehow if you wanted. Okay, but that's kind of getting a little bit you know, that might sound good if you just did something like this. And of course, there's like a lot of other turnarounds you can do. Okay, so anyways, I hope that explains the major pentatonic and the minor and major pentatonic scale a little bit better for you. Again, as long as you stay in that box, you're going to be pretty safe, okay? Now, when you get into outlining the chords, it's like that's kind of getting a little bit more dangerous, but sounds way better, okay? So you can kind of see that that's what's happening is when we're following those chord shapes, and you can, you can see, where they're occurring, but you have to be thinking ahead, when that chord comes. That's what makes it a little bit more difficult following the triads, but that's like what a lot of the really super duper good players, guys are, like a gazillion times better than I'll ever be. That's what they're doing. A lot of them are, they're seeing those shapes ahead of time and they're following those shapes. And I've always been amazed how when I hear something that sounds really good, I'm thinking they're reinventing the wheel, and you go back and they're simply just playing off the chord tones, off the little triads that are in there. So always kind of be thinking of that, And and as a recap, you have your E. So here's your B. Here's your B up here. Okay, you have your F sharp. You have your F sharp 7th there. Okay, so yeah, you also have your A shape in here, and that just reminded me, like the first time I played this, I actually had a little riff that I did on A and totally forgot it when I actually made the recording. So, when it comes on this E, you have this. And then when it goes to the A, you could do off the A chord. So there's the 7th of the A right there. Then so anyways, that's I'm hoping that's not getting too confusing. There's, I would just stick with the recording that I showed you on there and just see if you can play around with that and see those little shapes. Once it clicks, you can really improve your lead playing. So anyways, hopefully that lesson helps you out, and like I said, put on the jam track and just sit down and play with it. You got to mess around with it for a pretty long while, at least a couple hours, I would say. Break it up over a few days and just play around with it. And once you get going, the ideas will start flowing, and you'll start looking for those little shapes. So, it's a good lesson because it makes you think as far as what chords you're going to play, and what you're going to how you're going to arrange it to make you happy. And work on the nuances, all the bends, the slides, and I'm always see, just you got your slides and your bends, tremolo, throw all those things in there. So anyways, folks, boy, I hope that didn't get to be too long-winded. That's all I have for today, and so I hope to see you on the next video, and please subscribe, and I've been kind of away from making videos, so I know this one's probably kind of rough, but hopefully I'll get better as I get going with these again. So anyways, folks, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next time around.